Welcome back. It has now come the time to prototype your solution. In this canvas, copy-paste the description of your idea in this allocated box. And in this section below, feel free to elaborate on how your idea looks like. You have multiple options to do this. You can either develop a wireframe, you can make a sketch, you can write a more elaborate description of your idea. So use freely this space to elaborate how the prototype of your idea will look like. Optionally, you can also fill up a user/customer journey map. It's very simple. You should ask yourself, whoever will use our solution, the prototype that we're developing now, what kind of experience will they go through? So you can fill up this simple canvas that you find here and start with step 1. What is the very first thing that they will feel, see, do when they encounter your solution? And then skip straight to the last step. What is the very last thing they will do when they use your solution? After you have the first and the last step very clear, use the post-its in between to define the steps of the journey. After you have captured the essential elements of your prototype, you can move forward to the next section of this canvas, which is planning for experimentation. So deciding how you will bring your concept out into the world to test some fundamental assumptions that you have, and so that you can learn quickly, fail fast, and move forward with more innovation. The first thing that you need to focus on is this first step of the implementation roadmap. So ask yourself, what is the very first experiment scenario that you want to put up in order to test your concept? Once you have that very clear, move into the lower part of this canvas and answer the questions that are outlined here. These questions will help you really understand, you and your team, how you can set up a good experiment by understanding which assumptions you want to test, what you want to measure, and what success looks like. As you fill up these 3 sections, do that by first individually brainstorming and then discussing with the whole group. Then re-emerge into the implementation roadmap by identifying what the last step of your implementation roadmap will be. What is the very last thing that will determine, yes, our concept is implemented and is rolling out. Once you have, again, identified the very first experiment and the last step of your implementation roadmap, fill out the steps in between in these sections outlined here. And lastly, you can focus on your prototype communication strategy. Remember earlier when we developed the ecosystem of stakeholders in the very first activity? Copy-paste all the stakeholders that you find relevant in this section. Once you have them all clear, decide for yourself where they belong in this 2x2 matrix. This matrix is called power influence versus interest matrix. And you will find out there are some stakeholders that need to be kept satisfied, others that you need to monitor, others that you need to keep informed, and others that you need to manage closely. So out of all of these stakeholders, decide where they belong in this matrix. And now you will know who will be your key supporters, ambassadors, and people that you need to make your solution a reality. Once you've done this, you're ready to go to the next step.